the PBE changes that are going forwards onto patch 7.24. So I want to preface this video by saying, you know, this is talking about the PBE, and of course all of these things are subject to change, blah blah blah. There is a chance that I don't have perfect understanding of everything that's going on, but with that being said, I have played on the PBE, and here are the changes, and I want to talk about them because a lot of people are asking questions, and I think there are some misconceptions that I want to clarify. So I don't want the intro to be too long, so let's just dig right into it. So this video is going to be in a couple sections. The first section is going to be just me talking about the changes in general, and then I'm going to have a section where I talk about how they will specifically affect Zyra support, mid, and jungle. And yes, I said jungle. So it has been a long time since Zyra jungle has been something worth talking about. So stay tuned to hear exactly what's going on with that. And then we'll close with some final remarks and maybe some summarization. Summary? Yeah, okay. So without further ado, let's get into things. So the changes are up here on the surrender at 20, but I'm going to kind of go a little bit out of order and grouping things and maybe categorizing what's going on. So essentially there's a couple things that are changing: mana regen, your passive plants, plant durability, and some things with skills. So I guess that's sort of 4 depending on how you want to count it. All right, so mana regen. So Zyra's getting more mana regen early, but less late game. So to kind of visualize this, created a nice little thing right here. You're getting a lot, significantly more early. Then it breaks even around level 8 and 9. And then you're going to have lower from level 9 on compared to what you had before. All right. So personally, I think this is a good thing because as Zyra support, your goal is to win the laning phase, and as Zyra mid, you can probably get away with. You should probably have some kind of mana item anyway. Even though I usually greed and don't get a mana item, but I don't think, you know, going from 22.1 to 18.3 late game is really going to make any difference. But the 8.5 to 11.5 is going to be helpful early game, I think. So this is a good thing. The mana regen changes kind of no matter how you look at it. All right. So that's the first thing. The second thing is they're changing Zyra's plants a little bit. So specifically, the plants are going to spawn closer to you. They're going to last. The plants are going to last longer, but the passive seeds are not going to last as long. Okay, so that's two goods and a bad. Plants not having as long of a spawn range, you know, it sounds like they're nerfing the range, but it's actually a good thing. You want the plants near you, you want the seeds near you, so of course you want the plants near you. And the plants are going to last longer, you know, instead of scaling off a level, they're always going to be 8 seconds. So that's very, very nice. And that's really where this Zyra jungle is starting to come back, but not the real thing that really helps Zyra jungle. You know, and of course the passive seeds going down from 45 to 30, you know, that's a pretty big change. But honestly, how often do you really, do your passive seeds really last on the ground for 45 seconds? I can think of really one situation, two situations. One, you're spawning seeds for a jungle clear, or two, you're like pushed up to turret or at turret and they just can't step on the seeds, and it only really helps if you get like dove onto, which actually can happen fairly often, and having those seeds in the back can be helpful. So we'll see if that impacts things more than I think, but I don't think it's going to be a big issue there. So I'm not worried about the 45 to 30 second nerf on your passive seed duration. Next up, there's a whole bunch of things under here for plant durability changes, but it's really, really quite simple, okay? Melee champions are going to deal double damage than what they did previous, but damage over time is going to do half the damage they did previous. So what that means is that melee champions that auto attack your plants are going to one-shot them. So before you get too alarmed, I don't think this is that bad, and here's why. In the mid lane, melee champions don't auto your plants that much anyway. If they're autoing your plants, they're not autoing you. Not to mention, for your Q plants, you don't really want you don't want to spawn the Q plants right on top of them all the time anyway, depending on like, are they running towards you? Are they running away from you? That kind of thing. And support, you're already having a really good time in those melee matchups, so the fact that they one-shot him probably is not going to do much. Plus, as support, the AD carry usually attacks it with the support, so they basically get one shot anyway. So I'm not really worried about this, but it is definitely a nerf to have those melees one-shot, melee champions, not melee minions, one-shot the plants. However, the fact that damage over time is a little less effective, it's half as effective as before, is good. But again, this isn't as good as it sounds, because if it takes 8 ticks to kill something, it can still die really quickly, depending. Actually, 8 ticks is a long time. Oh yeah, they're not doing half, they're doing a quarter of what they did, so that's actually quite good, because it's halving the damage and doubling the strength, which is good. So yeah, that's gonna be nice. So if you're against Rumble and he just flame spitters your plants or Gangplank with his ult, their plants don't just die immediately. Basically, they'll survive for a little bit longer. Hopefully, we'll have to see how it goes in practice. One smaller thing is that the gold also is lowered from killing a plant, which is nice, but not fantastic. 5 gold to 3 gold. I'm sure it adds up, but I don't think it adds up to a very big number. So those are the small things. And then some bigger things I think are the changes to Zyra's skills, okay? So, one more thing about the plants that I didn't really mention is the W does not give your plants extra max health anymore. So they are going to be squishier late game from a certain point of view, right? And the certain point of view happens to do with this ultimate. So instead of all plants gaining 10 through 50, and most people don't max W until late in the game, so most of the time you're at 10% extra health, you do get this 50% extra health as well on your ultimate. So in team fights, they will be healthier all the time now than they were before. Although, now that I just mentioned it, I forget that whenever you have W, you always have that 10%, which means that it did take three attacks to kill it, but now it will take 2 attacks to kill it always. Unless I'm wrong. Could be wrong about that. That's how it used to be. But now that I'm saying it, it doesn't sound right, because I feel like people have been killing my plants in 2 attacks anyway. Oh well. This is the nature with these live videos. Another really big thing, then there's 2 really big things actually. The W change and the E change. So the E is just a straight up buff. 10 extra damage every rank of your E. So at max rank, it goes from 200 to 240, and it basically makes maxing E significantly stronger, and it can This is the another downside of these live videos. I have to deal with Dork and Twitch chat. Okay, so it's significantly stronger, and I think it's going to help Zyra mid's wave clear a fair amount as well. It's pretty nice for that. And then this is the really cool thing that they're introducing right here for Zyra mid. They're making it so that you basically get a ton more W seeds when you're laning as Zyra mid, assuming of course you can last hit correctly. So every time you kill a minion, you get 1/5 of a seed. Every time you kill a cannon minion, every time you get a kill on a champion, every time you get an assist on a champion, you get a free W seed, a full W seed. Okay, so that's huge. Okay, like really huge. That's more than 1 seed per wave, assuming you can last hit. In cannon waves, that's 2 seeds per wave. When you get a kill, you get another seed. Seeds everywhere. And also, I am pretty sure this is a bug, but currently on the PBE, you can actually have 3 W seeds at once, even though it says you only have 2 W seeds. If you have 2 W seeds and you kill a large cannon minion, it'll still say 2, but you get 1 for free. That has to be a bug, but If not, it's really good. Okay. So this is the big thing. It doesn't really help Zyra support, although it technically does help her in team fights and in 2v2s and stuff like that. It's nice, but it was a change directed for Zyra mid, and I think it's really cool. I'm really excited to try this out on the live server. This is really big for Zyra mid, and also for Zyra jungle. All right, so those are all the changes. So those are general changes. I wove in some comments about, you know, support mid and jungle, but now I want to go really in depth with how these are going to affect the individual roles, support, then mid, then jungle, in that order, and how it's going to maybe change your play style a little bit, or, you know, is this good, is this bad? A lot of people think the support things might be nerfs with the melee champions being able to one-shot your plant. So I'm going to talk about that. You can check the timestamps below. If you don't care about support, you can skip to mid. If you don't care about mid, you can skip to jungle, and I don't know why you're here if you just, never mind. So let's go on. All right, so Zyra support. The main things that help Zyra support is you get more mana regen in lane, get a lot more damage on E, you get enemy gets less gold from killing the plants, and the W is not so huge, but it is nice. It is nice when you're fighting in team fights, and it'll help you scale a little bit. All right, so those are all good things. The other things don't really affect Zyra support that much. And the bad, or the negatives for this thing, is that melee supports can one-shot plants, and that's pretty much it. Also negative is you get less mana late game. I guess you don't have the 10% bonus health on your plants, so they're gonna die more quickly, but usually people aren't really attacking them. Or if you're using it as poke, that's the only time they really attack them. But in that case, the plants only usually get one hit off anyway, so I don't think that's a big deal. And then technically your passive seeds die sooner. I don't think that's a big deal either. So I think we have a lot of significant buffs, but not that many bad things for Zyra support. And Zyra support, it gets a short end of the stick compared to mid and jungle, all right? So the conclusion for support is that this is a buff. This is a good thing, all right? You're going to be stronger in lane, and you're going to scale a bit better as well. The negatives exist, but they're not that bad. For example, if you're worried about the melee champions one-shotting your plants, what you can do is you can kind of set up your, you queue right on the support, and then just put the plant at the far side, so they have to walk to attack it if they want to. But honestly, I don't think that's ever really going to happen. 90% of the time when you're up against a melee champion, both of them attack the plant anyway, and it died anyway, so very little is going to change in that regard. The mana is quite good. The damage boost on E is, I think, very good. And the W reset is still going to come into play. So I really am excited, even for support changes. Again, I'm going to be focusing on mid and jungle on my stream for the next week or two after the patch hits. But I do think it is exciting, and I'm looking forward to playing the changes for support. For Zyra mid, it's good in all the same ways that it's good for support. And you have this crazy upgrade with this W. I don't think I can overstate this enough. You're going to feel like you have tons of seeds. At least I did. And it's really fun. It's fun to lane and actually not have to say, okay, I can harass once every, 12 seconds or however long it takes my, oh, I have to check. I'm going to embarrass myself. Where's the W? Is this what it's called? Yeah. All right. Yeah. Every 20 seconds. See? It's so long, and you can't really harass unless you get a good passive seed or your W. All right, so the W changes are great for Zyra mid. Of course, she's still gonna have the same downsides as she did before. She's I don't want to say she's short range for a mid laner, but compared to long range mid lanes, she doesn't have that long of range, because her Q is this weird rectangle thing which lowers your vertical range and has more lateral range, so you're still going to get outranged by those people, and you're still going to get out shoved by other people, and you still have the same weaknesses, but your strengths are now stronger. All right, so that's quite nice for Zyra mid. The bad there's not really one. The biggest bad thing for Zyra support, I felt, was that the melees can one-shot your plants. But honestly, if I think back to the matchups I play against, melee matchups in mid lane, Yasuo, Talon, Katarina, these melee champions, when I harass them, they don't walk forwards and attack the ward almost ever. And again, poke, I don't care if the plant dies early. It's the all-ins that I really want the plant to be providing that DPS. If a Katarina is jumping on you or whatever, how many times is she just gonna jump on you and then auto your plant, or So I don't think that nerf is really gonna affect Zyra mid at all, almost. But the buffs are definitely going to be very big for Zyra mid. I'm really looking forward to playing her. And then the other thing, again, remember that AoE, or damage over time, is going to do less to Zyra's plants. So that's going to be really, really nice, because if you're in a mid lane matchup like Malzahar with his aids or whatever it's called, Rumble, if you're ever up against a mid Rumble, I'm sure there's a ton more that I'm not thinking about, but that's nice as well. So the conclusion for Zyra mid is that this is a very nice buff. I think you should be happy. You're not going to become a superstar. Zyra mid's not going to be overpowered. I don't think. I don't even know if she'll be good, but she'll be average and she'll be healthy, I think. I'm very happy with these changes overall for Zyra in the mid lane. Again, this is all speculation. I could be totally wrong. Zyra could still suck, or she could become broken, but I think she's going to be in a good spot in the mid lane. Healthy, not too strong, not too weak. So I'm excited to see what happens. All right, next for the most troll part of this video, we're going to start talking about Zyra jungle and what these changes do for Zyra jungle. So the big changes for Zyra jungle are two primarily. The first one is that plants now last 8 seconds, because previously they don't really get killed that often by these minions, because you're always tanking the small monsters when you clear jungle camps as Zyra jungle. And if you're not familiar with how to do that, check out some of my old videos on clearing the jungle as Zyra jungle. All that stuff still applies, even though things have changed. Usually they just timed out, which is why I stopped playing her primarily. Furthermore, the fact that you get a free W seed every jungle camp you clear is really, really nice. You can clear with a lot more health. You can clear much more quickly. I believe even small monsters give the 20% reduction on the W, although I'm not 100% on that. I didn't test it, but it's definitely going to have a much healthier and quicker clear in the jungle. So, couple that with the advantages that I already talked about for the lanes, and Zyra jungle has gone from reportable to just bad. All right, which is a big step up. All right, like you're not gonna win a lot of games, but you're not gonna get banned, so that's nice. And you can make it work. I don't think I'll do it on my main account, but I'll definitely be able to Zyra jungle on my Smurf. Probably could Zyra jungle, I don't know, maybe even on my Diamond 3 account, who knows. But it's definitely something that's doable now. Of course, you still have the same weaknesses in the jungle, right? Although I should mention that the nerfs in this patch, most of them are buffs, but the nerfs in this patch almost don't affect Zyra jungle at all. Okay, so you still have the same problems as Zyra jungle, right? You're still vulnerable to invades, although you are less vulnerable to invades because you will on average have more plants. You will on average be healthier, but you are still vulnerable because you're using your plants to clear, and you have to be in a very specific spot to clear most of the camps, etc. So there is still that weakness. Your ganks are still bad. Your clear speed is faster, but it's still slow compared to other champions. All right, other jungling champions. Your ganks are not great, but not completely awful. You do have that root. So again, Zyra jungle, not good, but it's possible. All right. So I'm looking forward to playing it, but I'm not even that good in the jungle anyway, right? I don't really play jungle anymore. I played a lot of jungle in season 3, but not really any since then. So I'll have to be making Zyra jungle work, which isn't that great, and I will have to play jungle, and I'm not that great of a jungler. So interested to see how it goes, and you can try it if you want. Do not try it in a ranked game. I like to troll on stream, and that's because I am a streamer. Do not try this at home unless you play it in a lot of normal games first, and definitely practice your clear before you even get in a normal game. Otherwise, you're just going to embarrass yourself and cause a lot of unhappiness to people around you. But basically, it's possible. Jungle is possible. All right, so that's all I want to say about that. I want to close this video with a few closing remarks and maybe answer some questions in Twitch chat if there are any good questions. So get those questions ready and make sure to tag me so they're highlighted in red. Feel free. Well, I won't say that yet. Basically, the summary is that I'm excited for these changes, and I think Riot has done a good job of buffing Zyra and adding a little more interest in the kit. Which is nice, and I don't think she's going to be too strong. I think she'll be in a good spot. I think she's a little below average right now. I think this will bump her up to average, which is nice. If you want to see Zyra in action, you can follow me on Twitch. I did change my Twitch handle. You can see it down there. I got rid of the LOL, so feel free to drop me a follow. I'm also on Twitter, YouTube, but you're probably on the YouTube if you're watching this. Feel free to leave me comments on the YouTube channel. I read all the comments and I respond to most of them. And also Discord is also in the YouTube video description. A lot of people only have Discords for subs, but I have Discords to everyone, so for everyone. And I think there's a lot of quality discussion and a little bit of healthy memeing on the channel as well. So that's nice. All right, so that's the end of the main segment of this video. I'll see if there's any non-troll questions in my Twitch chat, and then I'll end the video. So let's see. Melyn, is this scripted? I have an outline, but it's not scripted. What do you think about that Dort guy? He's hilarious, isn't he? Yes, he is hilarious. Can Zyra go top? I do not recommend it. You overextend and you're way too squishy to go top, but yes, it's possible. But I don't think it's a good idea. I would not recommend it. Why is the sky blue? Do I think the mana changes will be nerfed early, or the W? Do I think Zyra's gonna get nerfed basically? And if so, how do I think she's gonna get nerfed? I don't think she's gonna get nerfed. Whatever goes to live, I think they're gonna keep there unless Zyra becomes really popular or oppressive. I don't see them changing anything quickly after. Hello to Milkman Cometh's mom. Plants do not proc Talisman for healing on hit, I'm pretty sure. Build for Zyra mid. I'm planning on updating my guide in the next couple of days, so check that out. For those of you on YouTube, the guide is the text guide is below the video. It's in the video description, so you'll want to check that out. It's mostly updated, but I need to clean it up a bit and add some more experienced opinions on the runes. I only have made the runes after PBE playing. I haven't gone back and edited the guide after playing on the live server. Again, I'm still experimenting with things and I haven't completely made up my mind, but I know more than I did when I updated my guide the first time. So the guide is definitely, the guide and asking me questions while I'm live streaming is the best way to keep informed with my build ideas. Also, I haven't been playing a lot of mid since the preseason patch, but again, I'm planning on doing that more when this patch hits. And will I add Zyra jungle back into the guide? I think only if it's better than I think. If it's still garbage, I'm not probably gonna add it to the guide. I don't want to rewrite all that stuff. I probably shouldn't have deleted it, but I didn't want to maintain it, and I didn't think Zyra jungle would ever work again. And then like one patch later, they update it, right? And I don't see item builds changing at all with these pages or with these changes. All right. So that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the live version of Melyn Talks. These are nice because it means I have to do less prep work, and less prep work is good for me because it saves me time, and it's good for you because that means I can create more content. So I think I'm going to be done for now. Have a good night, and may your well, I guess it's not night everywhere. May your enemies feel the thorns embrace. Goodbye.